All right, Davey Coombs, how's it going, man?
Good. Busy. Can't wait to get out to the West Coast and get the season started.
Yeah, you leave on a plane here pretty quick. With the National right around the corner, what has your schedule been like, man?
Well, I think that this year the way the schedule worked out, Travis, Supercross ended a week later, and Motocross started a week earlier. So instead of having 3 weeks off, it suddenly became 1 week. So it's been pretty busy. In fact, I skipped Las Vegas altogether and missed what looked like a heck of a race and a heck of a party. But we got a series to run, and so I'm actually heading out Wednesday evening for Sacramento, and hopefully the weather will work out, and we'll have a fantastic start to the season.
Have you heard anything from the teams or the riders saying that crunch time was hindering their performance a little bit, or does everyone seem pretty good to go?
I haven't really talked directly to that, but I do know that there really was no choice to it because the way the Supercross schedule works out, they did not want to start on January 2nd, which they kind of were supposed to. They asked us if we'd consider laying them back up, because there's contracts in place and whatnot. And we were absolutely for that. It's really tough to start anything on New Year's weekend. So we knew it was going to be behind. And then just with a lot of things with licensing and some changes in the schedule and whatnot, it's been pretty busy. But I think that next year we'll be back on the right schedule, and I'm sure everything will work out well. Times like this, it's one of those things where it's like being in school. If you have a month to do a project, you're going to take a month and a day. But if you got a day to do a project, then you better get to work.
Exactly. Well, this is the second year that MX Sports is running the Nationals. What can fans look forward to for change, or is, stuff staying the same? Tell us a little bit about it.
I think that last year we got off to what I think was a great start. The big huge change was going from Sundays to Saturdays to help the TV package. In turn, that allowed us to have the live internet package. We had 6 races on live. This year it works out, just the same. Although for the most part, everything will be live or same day for the 450 class, except unfortunately Hangtown. Because as it turns out, May 22nd is the NASCAR All-Star Weekend, and that's just round-the-clock coverage on speed. And try as we might make a change there, or even to be able to show the whole thing live on the internet, TV doesn't work like that in America. So one moto live on the internet, everything else next day. But between 5 and 7 on Sunday, East Coast time, you get to watch both classes. So I think that's a real step forward from where we were just a few years ago. Granted, I'd like to see everything live, and give me a couple years, it will be.
And everyone thanks MX Sports and of course your efforts so much for doing that. Now tell me, when you go to put the series together or the race day together, do you guys sit down and build it specifically for TV, or do you have to hinder some spots because TV does make it kind of difficult at times.
Yeah, it does. But you know what? If you want to be a major league sport, you got to have a major league television package. And moving to Saturday was the only real big thing that we had to change. Did we kick around the idea of one moto? We certainly talked about it, but people have been talking about it for years. We talked about shortening the motos, but the old school didn't want to see that happen. So, nothing's really changed. It's a 30-minute plus two motos per class. The one difference, though, and stick with me on this, we moved the 450s to the first race of the day. And the reason we did that instead of having traditional 250 then 450 was because we know that our live TV window is the first 450 moto, or sorry, our live TV window is the second 450 moto, and that's when all the people are there. Right. And if you wait to start the last moto of the day, and that's when you go live on NBC, what they might see is, a third of the crowd heading toward the exits. It's no different if you go to a concert, a football game, whatever. So we changed it, and all of the 450 riders love it. And, as it turns out, it's a little harder to hold on to a 450 for 35 minutes on an outdoor motocross track than a 250. So if the track's just a little smoother for the 450 riders, I think they'll be happier. And the lights guys, the 250 riders always want a rougher track. So hopefully by making this little tweak, everyone will get what they want, and we'll have a great TV package.
The only thing I remember really from the racing last year, because I did the whole series working for you, was the amount of time that it took that guys were sitting on the line, and I always remembered, sitting on the line was the worst part before moto, and sometimes they're down there like 15 minutes or so. Do you ever hear any negative from that?
Yeah, have you ever been to an NFL playoff game?
Yeah, I have, and the
All
TV
right, so
timeouts and the yeah,
yeah, that's the nature of the business. In motocross, we have no timeouts.
right.
So you have 35 minutes straight. So TV has to line it up to start it perfectly at the right time. So yeah, unfortunately, there were times when we had 6 or 7 minutes where the count was off, or they had to start over because someone flubbed their lines or whatever. But again, those are the small prices you have to pay sometimes to be on live television. And I think that what we've done has really revitalized outdoor motocross in America. I think that the series needed an overhaul, and we started to give it one last year. And we've got some more steps to do, but all of the top teams are engaged again. Unfortunately, we had our fingers crossed that James Stewart would be involved, but his issues are not series related, but wrist related. So hopefully, when he's ready to come back, we'll have a great gate. And then the other guy that we wanted to come back was Kevin Windham, but he's at the end of his career and he's doing a Supercross only deal. And as much as he wanted to come back, the funding just wasn't there from the Geico team, and hopefully we'll have him on TV doing some broadcasting for us.
Who's the rider you're looking for? 450 and 250.
Well, I would love to be able to answer that, but that could only get me in trouble. So I'm going to give the same answer I've been giving for the last 10 years, is I really hope that we see a great battle between Emig and McGrath.
Well, we'll move on real quick. I know a lot of people are asking questions about the new track Pala with obviously Glen Helen off the schedule. What made the decision? What made you guys go to Pala?
Well, first of all, we didn't want to leave Southern California. We know that a large part of the motocross industry is there. A lot of the riders were there, and we were planning on staying at Glen Helen. But unfortunately, sometimes in contract negotiations, things can get a little sideways. And in this case, the length of the term was something that we could not get past. And as we were trying to come up with some solutions, Glen Helen decided to cancel their event and go a different route. That said, we had nothing else to do but to start looking at other tracks. We spoke to Joe Aloff about Competitive Edge. I spoke to Davey Castillo about Castillo Ranch. We talked to even Larry Wasik up at Honey Lake. I know that's not Southern California, but it's a great track. But at the end, Paola put together a really great proposal. I think they're a player in the making on the Southern California motocross circuit. They've hired Ryan Hughes to come in and build a track from scratch with Kirk Chandler and Ryan Ouellette and the whole gang out there. We might even see Mark Barnett out there driving a tractor here before too long. But, sometimes things don't work out the way you plan, and sometimes it's for the better for everyone. So I'm sure that they're going to have a compelling race at Glen Helen coming up in a couple weeks. And we're going to end our Lucas Oil AMA motocross season at Pala on September 11th. And hopefully it'll be a win-win situation for everyone that was involved in that.
Well, I know a lot of people had their fingers crossed, and there were some rumors going around about a Southeast round. Is that still something that could come about in the next few years?
There is. And again, just like Southern California, I made the rounds. I even got in Ricky Carmichael's plane and flew around Georgia a couple times looking at property and things like that because Ricky really wants to get involved. But the line for a national in the Southeast, it's no secret. It forms behind Barber Motorsports Park, which is right outside Birmingham, Alabama. They have a world-class road course. They want to build a year-round motocross facility and not just have an AMA motocross national, but events like that nationals, maybe one of the Ricky Carmichael University programs, Loretta Lynn's qualifiers, regionals, whatnot. We are hopefully going to be able to commit to an exact date in 2011 here real soon. the contract hadn't been drawn up, but all the handshakes and whatnot are pretty much there. But you know what? We're not stopping there. We're looking in North Carolina. There's some nice places in East Tennessee. You never know where we're going to end up. It just depends on how flexible the schedule is moving forward. But I can tell you that when we started this season, there was no intention of not having Glen Helen be a part of it. The event we were hoping to move was one of the Pennsylvania Nationals, which is one of our own nationals.
Yep.
One of those nationals will move in 2011. Southeast has waited long enough, and we hear them loud and clear. We'll be down.
That's awesome to hear, and thank you so much for taking the time out of your day. I know you've been really busy getting ready for Hangtown this weekend. Good luck with with everything. Anything else you want to say?
I'm just thanks for popping up, because I was playing chat roulette, and there were two monkeys on there earlier, and I don't know what happened.
Well, I popped up and it worked out well. So
yeah. No. Anyway, no. I'm looking forward to it, and I just appreciate everyone that's been patient out there, and even the ones who haven't been patient. That's okay. Stuff like that motivate us to do a better job. Change is never easy, but it's usually pretty good at the same time. So we'll see how this all turns out, and I'll see you guys at the races.
Thank you, Davey.